Okay.
Why are we here?
So the reason we're here is, as you both know, I'm somewhat of a hip hop aficionado, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm a rap anorak, okay? But I'm also a big paranormal conspiracy buff.
Aren't we all?
Okay. I was browsing the internet a little while ago and I came across something wonderful called the Rap Conspiracy Iceberg. And what it does is it lists many, many, many different rap conspiracies or conspiracies about the world of hip hop.
Okay.
Okay. Some of which are fascinating and some of which are bizarre.
Okay.
So what I thought I'd do today, in my my knockoff MF Doom mask, rest in peace Daniel Dumoulin, is I've listed a bunch of these rap conspiracies, and I want you to put your hands in that.
You go first, Tom.
Did we go one by one? Or?
Yeah, go one by one, pick one out, and I'm going to tell you what the rap conspiracy is, and then just see what your feedback is.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, this is nothing to do with aliens, but I'm
or is
all
it?
for it.
Well, depends on the subject.
Tom, read it out.
Okay.
What's the first one?
Lil Peep Subversion.
Lil Peep Subversion. So you guys know Lil Peep?
Yes, I've heard the rapper's name.
Okay. He was a pioneer in bringing emo rap to the mainstream. He was a SoundCloud pioneer. Okay. Very grimy SoundCloud aesthetic. You know, he had like face tattoos, dyed bright hair. That sort of thing. Now, he famously died in 2017 of an overdose of fentanyl and Xanax.
Yes, I heard about this.
As you do.
Very sad news. I was a big fan.
That is very sad.
Okay. Now, what's weird about this one, what circulates is he's got this very grimy aesthetic, you know, and there's sort of talk of him being homeless for a bit, and he's got a very grungy vibe to him.
Okay.
But if you actually dig deep into it, Lil Peep's dad and his grandfather, both professors, okay? Both his parents went to Harvard. So he's got a very up-class upbringing. And his best friend, Lil Tracy, who he used to do a lot of... Lil Tracy.
Carry on.
Who he used to do a lot of songs with.
That's a ridiculous name. I'm sorry. That's the most ridiculous hip-hop name I've ever heard. Little Tracy.
Lil Tracy.
Sounds like something I'd watch when I was a child.
Well, Lil Tracy, he's still about, still making music, okay?
Sorry.
But his parents were Ishmael Butler, who was a very famous record producer, and sisters with voice singer Cheryl Clemens, a.k.a. two people very well connected already within the industry.
Right.
Now, the conspiracy goes that their whole career, Lil Peep's whole career was to sell this sort of grungy, drug-taking, dropout attitude, right, to promote nihilism in younger people. And what a lot of people think is that his music push was actually a push by Big Pharma, by the pharmaceutical companies, to push Xanax use on younger people to make them easier to control.
Whoa.
What do you think to that?
Tom, I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. I think that's a bit of a stretch, if I'm honest.
A bit
of a stretch. Yeah, I mean, I haven't listened to his music particularly, so I don't know what kind of context and everything. But from
I can imagine what the guy's like. I mean, we've seen rappers similar to that.
Oh yeah, he had a very sort of dropout, an attitude that I haven't seen since the grunge movement, you know, in the 90s.
Well, it killed him in the end, so...
And what the idea is that he's not really actually from that background, and it's kind of...
Hang on a minute. So what you're saying is he promoted basically just random drug use, not giving a stuff
just taking Xanax a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's meant to be a plug by Big Pharma, but it actually killed him in the end.
That's for conspiracy. I'm not saying that. That's for conspiracy theory.
Well, I am going to put that conspiracy to bed and say no.
That's useless.
That's my... what would you...
I'll tell you what I'm going to do with that one.
Okay.
Just stuff it on the floor.
Do you want to pick another one out then, Mike?
Yeah,
we'll go into that. Excited for this pick.
Kanye West is Ziggy Stardust.
Right.
What?
Okay.
What is that all about?
What?
So, the conspiracy theory goes that David Bowie prophesied the coming of Kanye West. Okay?
But they were around at the same time.
Well, no, this is... Okay, so let me tell you the story. So,
Okay.
the famous album, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, okay, great album, and The Spiders from Mars, came out in 1972, which is 5 years before Kanye West was born. Okay, it came out 5 years and 2 days before he was born. On the front cover is Bowie sat under a sign on a London street, and the sign on the front of that reads K West. Okay? Now, the first track on the album is called 5 Years. And what it's about is how the world will end in 5 years unless a star man is born to save humanity. Now, as the theory goes, Bowie's final album, Black Star, confirms Kanye West is his chosen successor. Okay?
How?
Well, the lyric is, something happened on the day he died. Spirit rose a meter and stepped aside. Someone else took his place and bravely cried, I'm a black star. Okay? And after Bowie died, Kanye actually said, David Bowie is one of my most important inspirations, so fearless, so creative. He gave us magic for a lifetime, and then said he would be making a cover album of David Bowie songs. So that's the theory. David Bowie prophesized and handed the gauntlet to Kanye.
I think. Do you want me to go first on this one?
You go.
I think that's a bunch of coincidences, isn't it? It's a bit of a stretch. Again, your words from bit of a stretch. I think fans or super fans of both of them or one of them will find little things like this that will legitimise the way it ties up.
It did have Kanye West on the front of his album, though.
Okay.
And then the first track was 5 years.
I mean, West is a direction, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's not...
No, but if that is a coincidence, right? And then obviously Kanye rose to prominence when Bowie's alive for many a year. So if people were drawing that conclusion whilst Bowie is alive and then he's making his last album, I mean, for the lulz, would you not just tie it all together anyway, just to keep people thinking?
Well, I didn't come up with the theory. I'm just telling you about
Did either of them actually turn around? Were they ever asked the question?
Well, it only came out after Bowie died.
Oh,
right.
really?
So, okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's coincidences and everything, isn't there? I mean, it's cool. That's better than the Lil Peep one.
Okay.
I'd say that's more believable than the pyramids on Mars.
Okay. So do you want to pick another one?
Tom?
I'll pick. Come on.
We haven't had any of the more ridiculous ones yet, so...
Oh, here we go. He's puzzled.
Is that say sentient?
Sentient Soundcloud?
Yeah.
That's the one, Sentient Soundcloud.
Okay. So Sentient Soundcloud. We all know what SoundCloud is, yeah?
SoundCloud,
Yes,
we know
I know
what
what
that is.
Yes, it's a
is,
music platform for musicians. As for conspiracy theory goes, okay, is that SoundCloud isn't actually a sharing website for music. I mean, it can be used for that, but that SoundCloud is actually an artificial intelligence
Oh, for the love of...
that uses algorithms to create artists and to create songs. And that's why there are so many rappers that sound so similar with weird, nonsensical lyrics.
What, Post Malone? Because his first ever song blew up massively on SoundCloud.
Well, the way that it goes is, because there's a lot of artificial intelligence out there that can create human faces from nothing or music from nothing and things. What they're saying is that a huge amount of content from SoundCloud is completely fabricated, and after it takes off and makes, it's become successful, they will then take a person's likeness and then come up with a backstory for them and then push for music created by the artificial intelligence.
Actually, I think you say this, and I just mentioned Post Malone, but if you ever watched like an interview or a TV show with Post Malone, he's the kindest bloke.
Oh, he's a lovely
the
guy.
nicest guy. But you look at him and you think, before he opened his mouth and you had a conversation with him, you think, what an absolute douche. But
Agreed.
Actually, he's a really sound bloke. I've got a lot of time for Post Malone, so that does actually... I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but
Well, it's not what I'm saying.
No,
it's what
but
the
SoundCloud
conspiracy
is
community online is saying.
It's very old, isn't it?
It's been out for a number
been
of
out for a
years.
long time, and I would
I know
say-
people with stuff on SoundCloud.
You got stuff on SoundCloud, haven't you?
Yeah, not that I want people looking up.
Okay, don't look that up, people. It's just
Look it up. I think though, it'd
But-
be more
but-
than a conspiracy, though, wouldn't it?
it's not a conspiracy.
It's not. It's a push, isn't it?
It's a push.
But also, you can say people sound the same because that's just the genre that's popular at the minute, and not being
People are
funny.
taking too much Xanax.
That's what it is.
You take something like Post Malone, not being funny, but like with a bit of auto tune
Yeah.
and a little bit of studio knowledge, I'm sure that I could release a Post Malone song.
That's a bit stretch again, Tom.
Pick another one. Go on.
Tom, your turn.
No,
Oh, is it my turn?
no, it's your
Oh, it is
turn.
my turn.
Go on.
Here we go.
We haven't even got any of the ridiculous
Oh,
one.
here we
Well,
go.
I don't know. Sentient Soundcloud's pretty
I'm
bad.
talking of Post Malone. It's the Post Malone curse. That ties in quite nicely, actually.
Okay.
Is that a conspiracy in itself?
It
What
is.
is the curse?
So, Post Malone curse. The conspiracy goes, I don't know if you'd saw this, but Post Malone was on Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins.
My name is Zach Bagans. I never believed in ghosts until I came face to face with one.
I've heard this. I've seen clips of it. Yeah.
Right. So you know the show Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Post Malone was in a haunted museum, right, which had a famous Dybbuk box in it. Now, if you don't know what that is, a Dybbuk is a like a malicious spirit in Jewish mythology. And allegedly, this box that they had was cursed and had a Dybbuk inside of it, okay? Everyone that's been in contact with this has apparently been cursed, all of the owners, with some seeing nightmares of an old hag, right?
An old hag?
An old hag, yeah.
Right.
Now, Zach Baggins removed the case during the episode and touched the box, and Posty put his hand on Zach Baggins' shoulder, okay, during this. Now, following this episode airing, Post Malone almost died in a plane crash when the wheels on his private jet blew out during a takeoff. His Rolls Royce was T-boned in Hollywood.
It's happened to all of us.
And then his old house was violently robbed. And he even tweeted, "God must hate me, lol." So that's the conspiracy theory.
It must be true. That's
Do you know
he was cursed on Ghost Adventures?
He has
Sorry, I can't take that one seriously.
That's almost as funny as when I found out that he had a vineyard in France where he makes his own rosé.
I'm sorry, what?
Post Malone has his own vineyard. Well,
is this a conspiracy or is this fact?
No, it's true. He has a. So I don't think it's his own vineyard, but he's commandeered a vineyard in France that makes rosé.
He's commandeered it.
Well, not commandeered. He
like a buccaneer.
Yeah, but basically he has his own rosé.
So the next time I go to a dinner party and it's a classy affair, I can turn around and go, "What have Cliff Richard and Post Malone got in common? They both own vineyards."
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Interesting fact. Put it out there.